All right then.
It's a Papa's party, P for Papa's. It's a Papa's party. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to MegaroniToni's YouTube channel. Today, she's today she's got me, your favorite. Hold on. Today, she's got me, Mufussy, and we're gonna be reading your favorite Reddit posts. Today we're going to be reading my favorite Reddit posts. Today we're going to be reading wacky Reddit posts. This is going to be so crazy, right, Meg?
Right.
I'm so excited for this wonderful experience. We're going to go on a journey to the wonderful world of Reddit. What?
The first thing that just popped up on my feed.
Not good? Spooky, scary?
No, I wouldn't say spooky.
Speaking of the widest mouth gape, I also saw this picture when I was scrolling and I thought it was very funny. It's a snow leopard at a dentist appointment and he's got little boots on. Look at the shoes. So what you're looking at is a snow leopard at a dentist appointment. They've got little boots on all four of his feet. I just thought it was very silly because of the tail and him just like sitting there. Meg, do you ever feel like a snow leopard at the dentist?
Sometimes.
Do you ever feel like a snow leopard at the dentist?
Am I the asshole for refusing to pay for my boyfriend's food after he ruined my food photos?
I have an Instagram account dedicated to photos and short videos of food from local restaurants in my city. I don't turn meals into a whole photo shoot production when I go out, but I like to snap a few photos of everything as it comes out. I've got about 1,000 followers. It's just a hobby for me, but I have made friends with some other bloggers when we go out and take pictures together to try new restaurants. I prefer doing this with my foodie girls because my boyfriend hates it and will go out of his way to take a big bite of food or mess up his plate with his fork before I can snap any pics. And he rolls his eyes when I take pics of my own food, so I pretty much stopped bothering when we went out together. Money's been pretty tight lately because of some medical bills, so I haven't been able to go out to eat with my foodie girls, and the infrequent date with my boyfriend is the only chance I get to eat out. I had to sit him down and have a look, let me just enjoy things conversation with him, and told him I was going to take pictures of my own food when we went out, and could he please just not be immature about it? And since we alternate who pays for the dates, I told him I would appreciate if he could spare the 30 seconds for me to snap a picture of the appetizer plus his meal on the nights when I was paying. And I got a sort of half-hearted, do whatever you want confirmation. Sunday, it was my turn to pay, and he let me take a picture of the appetizer with minimal fussing, and then when the entrees came out, I went to snap a pic of his and he messed it up with his fork. Then he reached over and stirred up my pasta to also ruin the photo of my own meal. I was so pissed off by that I refused to pay his half at the end of the meal, which pissed him off because he said he wouldn't have ordered a cocktail if he knew I was going to skip my turn. He says I owe him one because I don't get to just decide not to pay according to our agreement after we already ordered.
Not the asshole.
Not
piece
the asshole.
Of shit human being. The thing that got me was when he goes, I wouldn't have ordered a cocktail if he knew what I was gonna skip my turn. So you're gonna tell me that this man just ordered a cocktail because he knew he wasn't paying?
True.
It's fucked. It's fucked, bro.
That's true.
She's
that
like,
is fucked
he's
up.
like, ooh, it's her turn. I'm gonna go crazy.
It would have sent me if he would have stirred my pasta. I don't give a fuck if you fuck up your own food. That's your own thing. Whatever. If you want to be that childish. But my food? You don't touch that shit.
Yeah, just let me take my goddamn picture. And that's it. Takes 2 seconds. Absolute clown. Clown human being. That's what I say.
Clown.
Would I be the asshole? So she isn't quite the asshole yet. Would I be the asshole for making a big deal out of sleeping in a twin bunk bed with SO? My 21 female husband's 21 male mother 44 female has invited us to go on vacation at a cabin that is a few-hour drive. My husband and mother-in-law have disagreed, fought on many things, and have finally decided to put the past behind them. My husband, his 2 brothers, sister-in-law, his brother's foster kids, mom, cousins, and cousins' SOs are invited. There will be 10 of us in total. The last few vacations we were not invited and not even aware until photos were posted on social media. We were understandably hurt, but my husband didn't want to make anyone aware. My mother-in-law just informed my husband that we would be the 2 people using the bunk beds at the vacation home, while the 2 children will be getting their own rooms with queen beds. When we were first looking at the pictures and listing of the Airbnb, I made a joke that mother-in-law would make us use the bunk bed. Unfortunately, it is now not a joke. Us and his brother and sister-in-law are the only married couples going on this trip. Mother-in-law is single, both cousins are SOs and newly dating, and the other brother and foster child are both 10 or younger. I was in disbelief when my hubby told me he said we would have to purchase and bring an air mattress if it would even fit, which we are unsure if it will. I feel like we are still unwelcome to this family function, and personally, I don't feel like going anymore. My husband is upset as well, but is complacent with not voicing our concerns. I'm not feeling welcome and anxious on how this weekend will go. I know we aren't the ones paying for the cabin, and we don't always fit in with the rest of the family, but it feels disrespectful to me. Would I be the asshole if I didn't go, or if I voiced how I'm feeling in some way? Not the asshole. If there are multiple children going, they should be using the bunk beds.
Why are the kids needing queen beds?
Right.
That's why I slept on the fucking floor when I was a kid. Like, please. I wouldn't go. I wouldn't even, like, question it. I would just not go.
For real, that's silly. I had a room the size of Harry Potter's till I was 32. No, not the asshole. And it seems to be unanimous because it says not the a-hole.
Yeah.
This next one is a Today I Fucked Up post, and it makes me chuckle. Today I fucked up by saying you too to a homeless man.
Oh, no.
So we all know the classic, you too. Enjoy your movie, you too. Enjoy your food, you too. This one is the ultimate you too fuck up. So there's this homeless man that sits outside my local train station. We've exchanged pleasantries, saying hello to each other and having a conversation whilst I wait for the train. Even gave him my sandwich once when I was really hungry, but I digress. Well, today as I said goodbye to him, he said, "Have a safe trip home," to which I cheerfully said back, "You too." The look on that poor man's face. I've never seen such a look of pure betrayal in a human's face in my whole life. I feel so guilty. I didn't know what to say, so I walked off and tried not to make eye contact with the man I just insulted. Fuck my life. I can't go back. Well, at least I don't have to give up my sandwiches from now on.
Oh.
The pure betrayal.
Man, I would just get him a nice coat.
Get him a nice coat as an apology.
You probably didn't even notice, to be honest.
He said there was a look of pure betrayal, or they're overthinking, and there really wasn't.
They could be overthinking. All right, everyone get cozy. Today I fucked up by taking LSD and pretending to be French for 10 months. This was more of an FU that happened quite a while ago, which only just caught up to me a few weeks ago, so also not today. About 11 months ago, I moved into a new house as a temporary sort of thing until I could get money together to sort something out properly. I was hoping to have already moved out by this point. On my second day after I'd finished unpacking, I decided to break the house in with a nice acid trip. Things were going well with the trip. They seemed to be getting all intense, and I quickly realized that the tabs were much stronger than I had been told they were. And I thought being locked up in an unfamiliar house wasn't helping me relax, so I figured the best thing to do to relax would be go for a stroll while I was starting to get pretty overwhelmed at that point. So I left the house to start my walk, and my next door neighbor happened to be arriving at the same time. It's a street of tightly packed terraced houses, so next door is about 1 meter away from mine. I'd not met anybody on my street yet and didn't realize this is a friendly, tight-knit community where people talk to each other. She said something along the lines of, "Hello, nice to meet you. My name's her name. Are you new to the area?" So basically, I do this thing sometimes where people try to sell me things on the street, etc., and I pretend that I can't speak English. I remember a few words from my GCSE, whatever the fuck that means. Anyways, from my French class, so I just say some nonsense sentences, and then people usually leave me alone. And the state I was in this conversation seemed like it would be way too intense for me, and French just sort of came to me by default. My response to the situation, my exact words were, "Je voudrais une boulangerie." One of my favorite lines to use. And I shrugged my shoulders a bit with a weak smile. She pretty much just left me to it after that, and I got on my way. I did my walk and got home about 2 hours later. I was tripping majorly, so the walk ended up taking a lot longer than it needed to. When I got home though, my next door neighbor stood in her doorway talking to another neighbor who stood outside. I tried to keep my head down because I couldn't handle any more human interaction, but she waved at me and said bonjour. So I instinctively returned the bonjour, and got inside my house as fast as possible. When I got in, I started freaking out straight away because I realized I had just become French and now 2 of the neighbors think I can't speak any English. The next day, when I woke up, I realized the best thing I could do as an Englishman was just live with the lie for the rest of my short stay in this house to avoid the excruciating embarrassment of having to pretend to be French for seemingly no reason. Fast forward 10 months, I still live here.
Months.
I still live here, and at this point, I'm in deep. My life on this street is a web of lies. I perfected my French accent, and over the course of 10 months, French me has learned a decent amount of English, so we can hold a disjointed conversation. I've gotten to know the neighbors pretty well, and I was the nice, quirky French guy on the street. I didn't let the lie slip ever, because every day and every conversation I had just meant it would be even worse if anyone ever discovered I wasn't French. If I had friends come over, I don't have many, so it wasn't too bad. They knew to never speak to the neighbors because of my strange situation. Most of them found it amusing, at least. Imagine having to preface that when people come over. Hey, don't talk to my fucking neighbors. They think I'm French.
For real. Dude, I like how he can speak. He speaks perfect English, but he has to pretend to like not
speak broken English.
So he has to just throw in where he's be like, oh, this works good.
God damn it. Things were going okay, and I wasn't too worried about being exposed anymore because I've gotten used to it. I'm not home that much, and when I am, I rarely leave the house for any reason, so I only have to do it maybe 5 minutes a day when I'm out on my street. If anything, it was a nice way to spice up my day when I got to take on my French persona. French me somehow had better social skills than real me, even if English was a tad limited. But then there was the day it all came crashing down. I was walking to my car and saw one of my neighbors coming towards me from the opposite direction with someone else next to her. She stopped to say hi, as she normally does, and then says to her friend, "This is the guy I was telling you about. You might be able to see where this is going." Her friend hits me with a question in French that I didn't understand a word of, and I knew he was actually French straight away because his accent was way better than mine. I didn't know what to do, and I just froze. Every second that went past just made it seem more painful after way too long of a pause. I just decided to come clean. I told her I wasn't actually French and couldn't speak French, and then I tried to play it off like some kind of practical joke I'd been doing on everyone. No one was buying that. I fast walked straight to my car and let the embarrassment just swallow me for a while. I haven't spoke to any of my neighbors since, some of which I'd struck up friendly relationship with over those 10 months. I make sure nobody is around now whenever I leave the house. I do a loop around the block if my car if any neighbors are walking down the street when I get home, so that I never have to come into contact with them. Every time I think about the day I was discovered, my embarrassment physically hurts me.
TLDR, pretended to be French to avoid human interaction on LSD, lived alive for 10 months and got exposed by a Frenchman. I fucking died reading this because I feel like, now I don't know if we would go as deep with the bit, but I feel like one of us would do this in some sort of social situation. We would immediately message one of each other and be like, oh my God, I can't believe I just did this. What am I going to do? And then we go through the entire hypothetical of doing this. I'm just dying at having to tell his friends. Just be like, don't talk to the neighbors. They think I'm French.
Imagine if they ever had like a romantic relationship. And they had to explain, don't say shit to these people.
Listen, my neighbors think I'm French. If you ruin this for me, I'm done.
I would rather them think that you're an asshole than an English speaker.
Next time on Reddit readings.
Can we read this?
Yeah. Basically, ants go in his asshole. It just goes into deep detail. Deep.
Go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? Deep.
Yeah.